Hello and welcome to TrialJoin's webinar on patient retention challenges and the best way to solve them. As you know, it's difficult enough recruiting patients, so once they are actually in the study, it's important to keep up with patients to make sure that they're happy and they keep returning to your site for the duration of the study. Sometimes sites find themselves with problems in patient retention more so than recruiting patients for their trials. And so I just wanted to cover the biggest challenges of patient retention. The first being a bad atmosphere within the clinical research site. So a lot of the times when patients arrive to the research site, the clinical trial staff is starting their day and they may be faced with many challenges that come along with running a research site, whether it be tracking down more studies or recruiting more patients or issues with the protocol. But it is always important that you keep a professional atmosphere around the patients and you keep yourself happy and motivated so that patients will see that your research site is a great place and it's a great place to show up and participate in the clinical trial. Other times there may be difficulty with the protocols. Sometimes patients may not understand what the protocol entails. They may have lots of questions that they may be too embarrassed to ask. Plus, the staff is always keeping up with these difficult protocols, and they have to meet all the regulatory requirements, all the paperwork, protocol complexity, optimizing the protocol. Not to mention there are maybe 2 or 3 of these protocols that the research coordinators are handling, and that may also translate over into the patient being confused or anxious in staying in the study. One of the biggest, most important things that I want to make clear is to follow up with patients. It's important to have constant communication with these patients. I know that PIs and coordinators are busy, but make it a point to reach out to patients. And one thing that we found is that when the doctors, the PIs, are reaching out to patients themselves, it can add a lot of authority as well as make patients feel that they are really being taken care of if the PI is the one that's reaching out to them. And if the PI can't, it's always important that the coordinator go, and you can even just ask them how they're feeling, how they're doing, remind them of their next appointment, and following up is very, very important. Lack of communication is something that is very, very apparent in the healthcare industry as a whole. So you want to remember to keep lines of communications open with the patient. This will help alleviate the anxiety they may have and may very well keep them in the study, as well as receiving feedback from patients is important when you want to recruit more patients, see what they liked about your research site, what they didn't like about your research site, and it's just important that you keep communicating with the patients, whether it be through email, text message, a phone call. It's very important that you keep these lines of communication with the patient open and even let them know that it's available to the patient. And so those were the problems, and now just ways on improving the retention. Protocol amendments are something that you can go to the sponsor with just in case you'd find something wrong with the protocol or find something that you'd like to improve. It can be better to get with the sponsor to try and make these amendments and make things easier on the patients and make things easier for your research site. One thing you could always do, obviously, is just to have an atmosphere of positivity with patients, just letting them know that you're in this with them, talk to them, make sure that they are happy at all times. It could be anything from a smile or a laugh to just asking them about their day, what they have plans for, and it can really go a long way with patients. Oftentimes, because you're on the other side of the clinical trial, it can be easy to forget that these patients have their own lives and they have their own days and jobs ahead of them. So it's just important to keep the atmosphere light and really spread a lot of positivity to the patients. And of course, communicate openly. Communication is come up about 3 times because we have noticed that just talking with patients is one of the most important things that you can do to keep patients in the study. They may have lots of questions about the clinical trial safety, the short and long-term side effects, and it's your job to really be open and answer them and keep patients in the study. And it's as easy as answering a question, making sure that you answered it adequately enough, making sure that you framed it in a way that the patient can understand. We also suggested that sites provide transportation for their patients. We suggested Uber or Lyft, and there can be very many ways for you to provide transportation. Some sites have a dedicated driver, but it can really take a lot of the stress of going to a research site if patients already have a way of getting there that doesn't involve a lot of effort on their part. And another thing that has to do with communication is to use simple and understandable language. Patients aren't, trained healthcare professionals. They don't understand a lot of the abbreviations and a lot of the technical terms. So it's okay to use simple and easy to understand language for patients so that they can feel at ease and not feel that they are, test subjects or lab subjects. In the sense that they don't understand what's going on or that they're being poked and prodded. So it's really easy to accommodate patients in certain aspects, such as making sure there's always available parking for them. So maybe designate a place where only patients who are going into the trial can park. A comfortable waiting room, really keeping everything in your site clean, and having a warm, hospitable feeling for patients, just so that when they get to the site, they feel at ease and comfortable and won't have any hesitation when they come back to the trial. And once again, following up with patients is very important. Calling them, texting them, sending them a quick email, really easy to automate, and you can always make sure that someone is in charge of reaching out to patients because they too have very busy lives, and sometimes a reminder is all they need to come back into your trial. So I just wanted to share these points that we found from speaking with other sites, and I really hope that this helped you and that this shed some light on some retention problems that you may be having. If you have any other suggestions or ways that we can amend the video, please shoot me a quick email or give us a call, and we'd love to talk to you. Thank you.